In this video, we are going to reveal an intriguing insight on psychopaths and their emotions by showing you the results of a very interesting experiment. By the end of the video, you will also understand how even you can benefit from the psychopath's results of the experiment. How does empathy work? Simple explanation. It works because we have mirror neurons. We see another person in pain and our mirror neurons trigger a signal in our pain centers of the brain. As a result, we can relate to the pain the other person is going through. Let's talk about psychopaths now. So far, we assumed that psychopaths completely lack the ability of empathy and compassion. The hypothesis is that based on how their brains are wired, the psychopaths are mostly incapable of emotions. Thus, they don't feel what the normal person feels, including remorse. That's partially why psychopaths are so good at using people to their advantage, no matter what. They don't care about your feeling. And how could you blame them if it's something in their brain that isn't properly functioning? Maybe they lack certain structures, which was often assumed. Wrong. According to the latest research and studies, psychopaths do not lack the brain structures. In fact, they are capable of something that we didn't even think of, and it's more than compelling. Here's one of the trials researchers have conducted. They used two groups, a control group of normal people, non-psychopathic, and then they took a second group of people who are clinically tested psychopaths. In a first round, the scientists showed some video clips of people touching each other's hands, a handshake, some playful gestures, but also people adding pressure, twisting or slapping each other's hands. The scientists ran brain scans during the experiment so they could track the response of the participants. In the first round, the normal people reacted as expected. Their brain clearly responded to the painful interactions from the video clips. The non-psychopaths showed empathy and compassion. They could relate to the pain of the people in the videos. It's as if they felt the pain themselves. The psychopaths watched the same clips, and completely in alignment with our expectations, the psychopaths didn't show any response in the brain scan. No empathy, no signal. Didn't care. So far so good, but what's new? What's the shocking secret? Here we go. The scientists conducted a second round of the same experiment. No changes regarding the non-psychopaths. As for the psychopath group though, there is a slight change of the setting. This time the researchers instructed the psychopaths to actively try to take the position of the people in the video clips. The psychopaths should now consciously try to relate to the pain of the people. And indeed the outcome changed. The same part of the brain. The brain scan clearly showed a response from the psychopaths. They were indeed able to relate to the other person's emotional state. As of now, we know that psychopaths are incredibly good at understanding and emulating emotions. Psychopaths see how and when people show certain emotions, and they can mirror these fairly easily. That doesn't mean they feel the emotions themselves. The experiment before changes the way we see psychopaths and their emotional game though. Normal people have a baseline level of empathy, and it's triggered whenever we get to witness discomfort or pain. Psychopaths don't seem to have the same baseline of emotional response. Instead, they activate their brain areas on demand. It seems like there's a switch that psychopaths have, and it's not easily triggered. When required though, the psychopath's brains activated and also get to experience a response linked to emotions and empathy. As for psychopaths, there's no such thing as a missing brain structure. By the way, even after examining the brain of serial killer John Wayne Gacy, researchers didn't find any deviations from the normal person's brain. Whether psychopaths can consciously activate that and make use of that switch isn't clear, so we can't say if a targeted use of an emotional response is possible for them. Imagine that, only showing emotions when you consider it beneficial. The thought of the emotional switch can be a scary one, especially talking about psychopaths. Researchers hope that these findings may even enable future therapy of psychopaths, simply because we now know that there's some sort of empathy that is possible. How can you benefit from all that though? The answer is in any area that involves emotions from your side. Especially in business, it can be immensely useful to control your emotions. While it's difficult to change the immediate response of your brain and your emotion, you can program yourself to add an additional filter, a switch in between. That's basically to not follow through with your first emotional reaction right away, but rather to gain back full control of your rational self. It's a great way to not become like so many people out there, a victim of your emotional response. Not affiliated with psychopaths, but still a good example is Elon Musk. Notice how he responds in most of his interviews, regardless of the question and how it might make him feel. He doesn't respond right away. He takes his time, thinks for a couple of seconds, and then replies. Those seconds can be a defining window to let your immediate emotional response disperse a bit, so you can take over and use a rational approach when required. This only works if you insist on a few seconds though. Don't let other people use your emotions against you by putting pressure on you or trying to trigger you even more as soon as they notice your emotions. You can learn from extreme examples such as psychopaths, sometimes more than any business coach could ever teach you. Thanks for watching.